What's up, everybody? Back again, Warp Charge Gaming, live from a game store and different houses in the Richmond, Midlothian, Virginia area. And it's a wonderful day. I'm George, and next to me is Brad, and then Zach there in the middle, and Chris on the far right. And we're here to join you tonight for episode 3 of the Infinity Talk Show. My friends here asked me what we were going to talk about tonight, and I just thought, the most glorious game ever. It's such a beautiful, magical game, and I love it. I swear I've been falling more and more in love with Infinity. The deeper, it doesn't get stale. Like sometimes a game you can like reach the threshold, and it's such a deep hole of, it's such a deep, a lot of wealth, you know, of good times and good stuff. I'm breaking out of, I remember when all I had played was Tartary and the Tartary course from Ariadna, and to explore another faction just seemed like an impossibility almost. It was like so far into the future, but just like I was so proud just to learn the profiles and how to play my first faction. To imagine branching out into others was a large mountain to climb, and now I'm like have 6 different factions in my army builder, jumping between lists, and it's really rewarding, and there's a lot of rich depth there to grab onto. So loving it. And I think also I've been really diving into a lot of the different outlets out there of painted models, like whether it's just Pinterest or WGC Facebook page. And just as people post their work, it's really inspiring. And I found it, for anybody out there looking to expand their community, one of the great ways to convert people that already love miniature wargaming is to show them great painted models and an epic battlefield. You know, the cooler you can have an immersive environment with painted models and show works of art that are out there, readily accessible from the community, you can start to inspire people to want to play and paint those models yourself. Speaking of which, like to get this episode 3, so like just jumping in, I like to ramble about all kinds of things and talk about the beautiful game of Infinity. You guys are my mentors and veterans of the game in comparison to my infancy of experience inside the wonderful world of Infinity. Excuse me while I ramble, but we've been creating a lot of content, and it has been sweet as we kick things up. And one of the cool things was just today we filmed the first bat rep. We're using 2 camera arms now. Just recently, as we kind of kicked off Infinity N4 on the channel, and the focus of it, we expanded to getting a camera arm that let us do a 360 around the field and really get up into the action. Now having 2 camera arms and being able to see both sides of the board interchangeably is really powerful. And here's an example of where I made a split screen shot where you can look at both sides of the perspective at the same time, looking at that Scarface model shooting down the table at the Avatar. You can see on the right there from the Avatar's perspective down to the Scarface. It's super cool, and I tried a little bit unwieldy style to give it a run today. We did a match of MoRats, my first time playing MoRats, speaking of new factions playing. I had a great time and look forward to talking about them, versus the Vanilla Combined from one of our new players in our scene, Luke. He did a great job. I've really been impressed with, he's only 2 weeks in, and from his experience of playing so many Games Workshop games, Warhammer 40k, Age of Sigmar, Star Wars Legions, Magic, you name it. He's a longtime veteran gamer, and he dissected, and if you read the rules and you're passionate about learning and you enjoy list building, you're quickly going to be able to pick up this game. It's not that crazy, especially with N4. But let's see, I wanted to show Chris's awesome painted models that was talking about inspiring some stuff. Is this JSA, Chris?
Yeah, this is JSA.
I love it. I think I've seen you say before that you like to paint green.
I do. I don't know why. Green to me, I can kind of paint the highlights and shadows more easily.
Mm-hmm.
And the JSA brown orange. I mean, sorry, the Yuching brown orange. I don't know if it's really orange because all the colors that you're painting are primarily called brown in the Army Painter line or model color.
Yeah,
it's Lewis brown and a bunch of other stuff. There's a little bit of orange, but warm browns. So yeah.
Obviously, the one thing to point out there are the leaves, man. The little tiny autumn leaves are an amazing touch. Plus the little JSA icons in there. How'd you make the little leaves there?
Yeah, so the leaves I purchased from a website called shadowsedgeminis.com. They just have some. I just found them. I saw those little leaves a long time ago in some other company. I think Battleground sells them, or they used to in store, but that was years ago that I've seen them. So I was like, I don't know. The green needs a little bit something else, something to counteract its color, or maybe warm it up a little bit. So I felt like the fall leaves, given the time of the year outside, was appropriate.
Yeah, no, I love it. I don't think I've ever honestly seen fall leaves like that on a miniature. So it was pretty cool, very stunning.
Yeah.
So loving that, and you all have played many factions over the years, and JSA is just one of your loves, Chris.
Yeah, I've only played it a little bit. Primarily, I focus on Yuching. JSA used to be part of Yuching, but they kind of rebelled and broke away with the help of Pano. So yep, there you go, Zach. Yep.
All detailed in this book.
Yeah,
including the
book covering
salt of the
everything.
Eugene players.
Yeah, yeah. It's a good book for content. I recommend that. But I still like Yuching and JSA separately. I never got to play them together just because when I started, they were still together, but I never played any of the JSA stuff because I didn't own any of it. So I really only played Yuching primarily.
Is there some things in N4 that are motivating you to bust out some painting on your JSAs, or just you're just calling at you?
Yeah, there's some changes that I feel like made the JSA a little bit more well-rounded. The Karakuri changes, more flexible link options, so you can mix more models into the combat groups.
I think that's an interesting trend, honestly. It's funny. I like to read the forums about our particular factions when you're getting into them and glean what you can. And just like when N4 has dropped here, there's been a lot of speculations about what armies have suffered from the 15 order count. And, people say like Hakaslam and Tak, that they were, that's some of their bread and butter is to have a lot of orders or whatever. But I found the interchangeable link teams are a subtlety that can really add a lot more power to a faction that can, be not just like easily seen sometimes. Little changes to SWIC costs, from the SWCs going to 2 to 1.5. I ran the MoRats for the first time today, and the Suryats used to have a SWIC of 2, and this Sorgot guy that has the Falkenbach or whatever, Feuerbach. That thing is incredible. I one-shotted at the Avatar today. Spoiler alert, you guys can go check that out. But I guess before he used to be just a single guy running around. But now he has the +1 burst, which is usually just a 2-shot weapon, APDA. Now it's a 3-shot weapon because he's +1 burst, but he can join a core link team as a wild card, basically, between like three different types. So that's where it's ridiculous, is now he's a 4-shot Feuerbach with +3 ballistic skill and 2 shots in the ARO with explosion from the same weapon. And it one-shotted the Avatar. I walked up and he missed on a 17. I crit and hit 2 other hits out of the 4 shots, and he took 7 saves with AP.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah. So that and it has NCO. And you can take the Suryat with the double lieutenant order, so now you have 2 extra orders you're getting to spend on them in a link team. It's fantastic. So I had a great time running the MoRats. And then they're so interchangeable now. These Suryats, I have 3 Suryats with HMGs, one being the lieutenant +1 order, and 2 of them with tactical awareness. And that you can stack up like 15, 16 orders in a limited insertion list. And the Anyat, that was a really neat unit that can join the link team that has EM grenades and smoke grenades and K1 rifle. K1 combi rifle inside that 5-man link. So what a solution to the tag environment that we're in is that lovely K1 that makes everybody on armor 0s on those saves. It levels the playing field pretty quickly against that armor 7+ whatever, So I had a great time running them, and I'm really excited about that. And I think that the interchangeability of link teams and because people on the forums, there was several folks that were poo-pooing the MoRats in the new edition, when other people were like, no, you're not. There's way more we can do now, and there's little things like those SWIC changes and stuff. I think I had seen similar grumblings about. Been checking out Drew's lately, and that I guess they have less lieutenant options now, and that's sometimes what people will grumble about, is that they lost a couple different like specialist profiles in the N4 changeover. Would you guys agree that's a trend that sometimes happens? You might have lost a favorite specialist here or there.
Yeah, in Hakazam I missed my HMG Ghulam lieutenant. But I mean, I'm not going to cry over it. Overall, the changes have been beneficial.
Sure.
I don't think any faction has lost out in N4. They've all gained something.
I think so too, yeah. Well, that was something you had mentioned before the show, Brad, where I guess the Ghulam NCO used to be exclusive to Rama.
Or not Rama, or just Hakaslam in general, but it's just like...
he was in Vanilla, Rama, and QK.
QK, okay.
And
so
now he's Deshat.
I can take him in Deshat and Assassins,
Yep.
so it's just like, oh man.
He's everywhere now. He's just a basic profile.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it changed the way I play Deshat now. It's like, oh man,
Sure.
this guy can...
Yeah, little
go in the
change.
link
You know,
team.
little change too. It may not be the most obvious, like heavy hitter, but the functionality of the support that it offers can really up the ante.
Definitely.
Yeah, he was an auto include when he was created in Rama.
And then, when I start doing Assassin lists, he's slowly becoming an auto-include now.
Yeah, and I really like the Muyib Spitfire and HRL with tack aware.
Oh, yeah.
Also, Muyib's being BS13 now is really nice.
Yeah, I didn't notice that until yesterday. I was like, oh, man, BS13
Yeah.
and bioimmunity. I'm like, this is nice.
You're making me think, and I actually have an image I'll pull up now. I made a Rama list and I've been struggling to make Hakasam list. And one of the profiles I fell in love with, that I know we've been kind of talking amongst our chat about, the Asawara, that has the Berserk,
Asawara, yep.
Asawara with the Berserk +3 and the martial arts. In Rama, I'm loving this Nahab parachutist.
I love the Nahabs.
That
yes.
thing is ridiculous. Martial arts level 2, Berserk +3, natural born warrior. So you're and immune to crits. So you're great at going against other CC specialists because you're like, no martial arts for you.
They gained a lot with N4. They used to have no incapacitation. That's no problem. They didn't have assault. They didn't have shock immune.
They didn't have immune to crits.
They didn't have immune to crits.
Yeah.
They didn't have the higher CC skill that they have now. They've become absolute monsters and didn't change at all in costs.
I'm loving it. Yeah, give me that. I'll throw that parachutist down. I think there's an infiltrate profile too. It's just
Yeah,
great.
there is an infiltrate profile.
Super
I do
good.
miss the choice per game of being able, do I want to do infiltration or do I want to do parachute?
Oh, so there are two separate profiles
They
now?
are two separate
Okay.
profiles. Yep. Anything with slash is now two separate profiles. So
Daggone.
yep. So what are they called? The escorts in QK, the women.
Odalisque? Or...
Yes, the Odalisks. Yeah, the Odalisks now either have 360 visor profile or
Sixth
Sixth Sense
Sense,
profile.
okay.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah, I can't wait till maybe a week or two for the QK and Merovingia.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to
updates.
seeing the QK update.
Is that do you guys have a general date known? I don't know when
Late
it's
November.
happening.
That's
Late
all we
November.
know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably the
Imagine
last
week.
weekend. Last week of the month.
I'm really excited about QK. I enjoyed the iguana a lot back in N3, and I'm hoping that it's even cooler in N4 just for being, maybe it's cheaper, who knows, whatever. But I liked because you could do the Bashi Bazook guys and Yan-Yans in QK, right? And I thought it was fun, like hitting from all sides like that, and then having kind of like the iguana up the middle. You can run double iguana in QK, or was it?
No, just one iguana.
Yeah, maybe it was iguana Scarface.
There's an
combo?
iguana and
Scarface.
anaconda.
Yeah. I know I was playing around with the idea of wanting to do 2 tags. Tag City, baby.
I'm looking forward to seeing what the Yan changes are.
4 Yan-Yans.
Well, we already know that combat jumps change, so I mean they're already gonna not disperse off the table or anything like that,
Yeah, that
It's
makes
true.
them really nice. Especially when before you could probably run them in lists with 18 or 19 orders. Now you're limited to 15 in competitive play. So if your 3 Yan unfortunately scattered and they were gone, that would be pretty rough.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the 15 order limit is not hurting any factions, but it is limiting strategies you can use.
Right.
The Hakazlam and Ariadna bread and butter strategy.
Yeah, Caledonia.
Peace trading is not a thing anymore.
Yeah, Caledonia, I felt like kind of really relied on that 18, 19 order list because they have so many guys that were cheap. Scots Guard,
Yeah.
The 45th Galwegians and the Volunteers. Like, I mean, those 5 points apiece, or 6 points, I guess, depending on which ones you took. But I mean, that was like kind of the bulk. You were like, you can come at me, but I got enough guys to kill you with. And now who knows what's going to happen with them. I'm not sure how you're going to play. I mean, I've played shorter order pool lists where they're 16, 17 orders, and they're fine. But you'll probably almost always run Wallace. I don't know why you wouldn't now.
Right. I'm going to throw up on the screen.
Maybe they make Scots Guard really good, or
more
mares.
I guess we are curious of what they actually.
They're already really.
Oh yeah.
Oh, well, Scots Guard, White Company or whatever that is, or Cosmo Float.
Yeah. So I just threw a Cosmo Float list on the screen. I really enjoy playing them a lot, and I feel like they remind me of the Caledonian feel. It's just insert Barapods and Mirage 5 for me. Yeah. So like I haven't been like my inspiration for. And we got a friend out there, Tanako Skylar, saying, "What's up? Another stream. Howdy, good to see you. Indeed, the Tabletop Shogun. Thank you for joining us." We're talking about the Cosmo Float faction, though, and this is a list where it actually gets a bunch of orders. It's not really 15 orders that we're limited to. It's 15 units, right? And sometimes when you add a bunch of Impetuous on there, which did get better with being optional now, you can still exceed the 15 order count. And I'm in this, for me, Mirage 5, 2 Barapods, which one is the Polaris team and one is the individual Barapod, and William Wallace is the core, and then 4 Medinos, all being cheap and irregular Impetuous. The Varangians are linkable, cheap, and Impetuous. Of course, they're not going to be able to use the Impetuous inside the link, but it's there once you've moved up the board. You can really stack it, and plus, like for 1 unit slot, Mirage 5 is 3 orders: a regular, irregular, and an Impetuous. Yeah. So I mean, that's worth 1 unit slot times 3 orders, you know. So you can.
Mirage 5 is 2 unit slots.
Yep.
2 unit slots, 3 orders.
Yep.
Yes.
Counting the Impetuous.
Right.
So you can start to feel like you have a lot more, like hell, even just like tactical awareness. You know, like the MoRat. We were talking about the MoRat units with the Uriats with the tactical awareness on them, and they're linkable. The NCOs with there's a lot of +1 lieutenant orders floating around, or converting those with Strategos. So you can break that count, and I feel like I've seen with the Cosmo Float that kind of feeling of having a lot of orders for less. Now, granted, I'm just running around with a whole bunch of chain rifles, but those bears are cool.
They work.
God, yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with those. And Mirage 5, man, coming in with that parachute deployment zone is super sweet.
Yeah, with the changes to Impetuous, I think that's going to work to Caledonia's favor. Because one of the biggest drawbacks for having the 45th Highlanders is they run everywhere, and they didn't have a choice. So if you were playing defensively, first turn they were amazing at keeping things from murdering your lieutenant or whatever. Because, I mean, they have Berserk, Dogged, and CC-21, and they're just so cheap. So you could arrow move them in. They had chain rifles, and they didn't really care. You didn't care about losing 6 points, but now that they can stay put and guard something, that's pretty powerful.
Yeah, and there's several units that match that similar profile. Like there was the monks and the taigas.
Yeah, monks are fantastic still.
Yeah, I mean those type of units only got better, right?
Warlocks,
yeah. I love Impetuous being a choice. It's super fun.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's what's making me in that Rama list I flashed up. I'm excited to put Carmen in there. And like I've always struggled with motorcycles, and I'm excited to. She's so cheap. Gosh, Carmen's cheap.
She's so cheap, and she's got such good skills now.
I like I asked once, like, is she a specialist? And you were like, specialist at kicking ass. So true. And a smoke thrower, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that booty roll that is traded out from scavengers. It's so good.
Right, and booty just got better.
Yeah.
Being able to land on that mimetism -6, basically getting the best of both charts. Chart 2 floating into chart 1. Just a subject that I was intrigued by this week that's make me think about this same kind of world is EM grenades and just EM ammunition. And I've been thinking a lot about, we have like in our meta, in our scene here, we have like 3-4 plus new combined players. Everybody's excited about the Sphinx. Think about the Cutter. That's about to hit as well, right? And these are -6 mimetism tags. Not already tags are becoming more prevalent in M4. Well, there's also the big bad wolves of the -6 mimetism too. So MSV2 or CCs or templates or just countermeasures to fighting these things. I played there's a bat rep we have up where I did Tariq Mansouri and Maggie. Tariq was in a 5-man link. I had a Harris and Mukhtars, and I had Maggie and the Rafiq Bak duo. It's a fun little limited insertion. But it was the kill point game, and I was going against the Avatar. He had a Noctifier and an Avatar, I could not. My HMG on the Maggie was not enough to unroot the Avatar out of cover with its -6 mimetism. It was like, if you don't have AP in your list, you can go against something with high armor like that and just not be able to take it down on it reliably.
Mm-hmm.
So things like explosive weapons, AP.
Well, Maggie's got a multi HMG, so she's got AP. But she doesn't have a visor, so I mean, still -6 to hit it.
I think that was the part that was crushing me. Yeah. But either way, I wasn't getting the job done, and her modifiers were the Avatar's modifiers were superior.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I didn't have the tools, and so I've just started to think in my list building stage more about bringing these type of weapons, and that's where that in that MoRat list with that Feuerbach with the DAAP, that type of weapon is awesome, or K1, or I'm starting to study the noob that I am, like the emitters and the jammers and those type of the isolation, the immobilization, adhesive, those non-lethal attacks.
I think one side effect of N4 is we're going to be seeing a lot more hackers and repeater fields, simply because hackers will be par none in taking down these tags that are now so cheap and so strong given their bonuses that you don't want to do anything face to face against them with weapons. You just want to isolate them with a repeater network.
Totally.
Yeah, I mean, you can win face to face fights, but a lot of the time you just can't inflict the wounds to take them down.
Yeah.
So you're talking about I mean, in my experience with tags, even the few times I played against them, I mean, you can dump 8 orders into a tag and take 1 or 2 wounds. It's not worth it. It's better to immobilize them or use hacking, almost always.
I'm trying to remember the faction I was messing with that had it was Drew's, I think, that has the EM grenade launcher.
Yeah.
That we talked about a little bit in our thread this week how the grenade launcher, one of the nerfs to N4 is they took away the +3 range band, I believe.
Yes, which is for the best.
I think that's
Because linked grenade launchers were not in a fine way.
Reasonable.
Yeah, I mean,
Reasonable.
Hey, you can still get it on 16s out to 32 with
Yeah.
X visor. In Starco. I mean, it's still not bad.
Yeah.
It nerfed
Good range.
heavily
There's
a little
no
bit, but
good range now. It's just flat.
yeah.
But you can still get it, because that's the thing with this Drew's grenade launcher is you can get a +3 from a 5-man link, and you have X visor, so you're basically going to be shooting with a +3 or at a 0.
Yeah.
Also Starco with Emily Handelman, Taneko Scholar says. But yeah, I was starting to realize just how powerful that is. Tag around the corner or whatever. You don't have to have a face-to-face with it. It just dodges as the best face-to-face.
EM grenades have always been the answer to a lot of heavy armor issues. EM's never been bad to use. And if I ever have an option to take EM in my list, I always will.
And I find with, I haven't looked at Assassins in over a year. I just started playing it again. But correct me if I'm wrong, Zach, I don't remember the EM mines being as prevalent as they were in Assassins.
I don't.
The
think
Muya
EM
Mind
mines
Layer
were-
had them, but they don't.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking of much of any others that,
what is
that
it?
have them on the list.
There's one of those new units, the camouflage hidden deployment guys, or
The Shujai has an emitter profile.
Yeah, the Shujai has.
But he doesn't have Mind Layer. He just has the emitter.
Yeah, there's like emitters and EM mines.
Yeah.
But, is it a whenever you take an EM hit, it's a AP BTS save, or is it ×2 BTS AP?
It's essentially
BTS.
EM2. It's two BTS at half.
Yeah. So so it's easy to say like double action AP BTS, DAB, whatever. That seems really good. And then at that point, I'm just saying this out loud to help internalize it and for viewers as well. But it's a -9 whip, -9 whip to reset out of isolated, and then there's a mobilize A and B, and it's a -6 dodge out of isolated or immobilize 1 or A, and it's a -3 reset out of immobilize B. So
Yeah,
it's
and
like
bear in mind, if there's a hacker there, that's a face-to-face.
Oh, yeah.
So have fun with that.
So kind of walk me through what you're saying there. You're saying like if
you have if you are immobilized, I think it was B at -9. If you want to reset out of that, and a hacker wants to keep you mobilized, that is a face-to-face roll. You're at -9 to reset versus whatever they're doing to you.
So they're just like I oblivion you again or whatever it is.
Yep.
Gross. Yeah, I still feel we talked about this a little bit on episode 2, but just about there's certain elements of the game that it's all about your meta, and a lot of times when people are discussing in the forums about what they think, why they think a faction's not good or as good, it's about how much terrain their area plays, what kind of stuff their meta brings. Like I have not gone against 2 Fides and Abajabel or the 3 impersonators.
Well, just wait.
Just wait, right? I haven't. I know every time I've had Yon-Yons jump all over me, I've been like, damn it, my facings,
Yeah.
And heck, I'm not. I remember when I first brought hackable units out of not playing Ariadna and just walking right up to the midfield and getting hacked by a camo token. You're like, oh yeah, stay out of zone of control of camo tokens, right?
And use stealth if you have it on heavy infantry.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty useful.
I think it's also down to player preference. Yeah, totally. And that's one of the beauties of Infinity is you can mold a army's playstyle around how you enjoy playing, which is cool. Obviously, certain factions are going to reward certain playstyles better than others. But like if you want to just run straight at them with the bears, then you get you some Cosmo Float, baby.
Yeah,
Cosmo
you
Float's
can
fun.
definitely play all non-hackable, or you can play InfoWards. Completely up to you.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm probably going to be starting this edition with more info war than not. Especially now that the breeds can be in Ghulam fire teams, so why not?
Yeah.
Are we supposed to get season 12 ITS at the same time these other updates coming with the Caledonians and all that?
Yeah.
That'd be fantastic.
I think season 12 drops late November as well.
Any musings on are we going to have HVTs? Are we going to have classified cards?
We're going to be using the same classified cards with HVTs. The rules for Civivac and stuff like that, Heloise has stated, will be in the ITS rulebook as opposed to the main rules. So any special rules that are covered under the classified deck will be in the ITS season. And I think I remember him saying he's not planning to put much changes into this season, no rules testing or anything like that, simply because it is a new edition. There's no reason to put new rules in there for the time being.
Keep it simple.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited for that. We're definitely gotten a little stale with running the same 4 missions, 2 being totally killing, and then supplies and domination.
Yeah. I also need them to just put a break on the sectorals. That would be wonderful. There is definitely sectoral fatigue.
Yeah, I mean, I do love like Cosmo Float coming out. I do have a picture of we got a new Mirage 5 sculpt. Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Well,
It's
the
amazing.
rework, right? Yeah, I got it up on the screen now. I guess they did this like on a large scale for the Aristata game, I think.
What is it?
Or-
I can't remember the name of it.
No, I think it was just a special edition.
Yes.
It's a big, yeah. It's like
Yeah,
75
Luxumbria made a
millimeter.
bust of,
Was it
of
like-
this. Yeah, it's not a 32
Yeah.
millimeter. It's like it's a big one. But yeah, they basically downscaled the Luxumbria bust
Yeah.
to this.
I'm excited, man.
Mhm.
That's a sweet sculpt, and can't wait for that to be available to put on the channel and stuff. Chris, we got to get. I'm gonna get you. Dude, you paint so good. Please paint it.
Yeah, it's nice seeing them actually sculpt an underslung grenade launcher. There are so few of those.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah,
you got a grenade
yeah.
launcher. No, you don't. You have a rifle. That is all you have.
Yeah, pretty much.
The weird bullpup action of the grenade launchers they have that doesn't have room in the butt pad for any firing pins. It's like, it's weird. How is the bullet shooting?
Man, I can't wait for all that new stuff. It's gonna be so cool. I was curious, and I don't know if you might have mentioned this before, Zach, and apologies if you have, but do you have any brief narrative about the old Mirage 5 unit, about its place in the game, in the lore?
Yeah, so Mirage 5 essentially is one of the equipped Mirage teams, which are teams put together by Merovingia as a shock troop unit. It's usually a combination of a woman and a dog warrior. So in this case, it is Margot, don't remember her last name, she's French, and Duroc. Margot herself is multi-time demerited because she has a hard time following orders and was not loved by her commanders. So they're like, hey, let's just put her in the equipped Mirage team and forget about her. And she got paired with Duroc, and for some reason they just both connected completely and have been blowing it away in how well they work as a team in the field, and have been coming back repeatedly successful to the point that she's become more of a hero. But the dog warriors themselves do not take to vehicular transport of any kind, especially flying vehicular transport, which is why the equipped Mirage teams exist. The handler is supposed to be connected to them in some way that they can calm the dog warrior down so that they can actually go in the helicopters or whatever the airborne transportation is that they can parachute out.
Yeah.
And the equipped Mirage 5 team are one of the more efficient ones at their job, and they're both still particularly disliked by the command, but they're also very good at what they do.
That's super cool. It's funny because I was actually just, since you telling that was the first time I've actually imagined the dog jumping out of a plane or something. It's hilarious to imagine that thing.
Yeah, they put big parachutes on them and they push them out of planes.
That's badass. So this dog face here, it looks like it has more of a humanization to it than some of the the regular anthropods. This is a dog face.
Well, dog faces are werewolves. They have human forms.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
Yeah. I don't know why in the lore that this one does not have human forms. Why some of them do, some of them don't. In game terms, I don't know.
Is it Mcmurrow? Don't they get sometimes stuck in that form? Isn't Mcmurrow stuck in dog form?
No. Mcmurrow is a one-off. They don't get stuck in the form. Mcmurrow happened because of a viral rifle round that acted funny. But no, usually under times of stress, they'll transform into their werewolf form. They are a quintessential werewolf. Just all of the legend and lore of werewolves is what they are.
Huh. Okay. Well, that's cool.
And then you get the dog faces when they breed with humans, in which case you have the half werewolves that can't transform to human or werewolves.
Was it the Wolvers or?
Wolvers, yeah, that's it.
Okay. Forever the furry.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think some do, or at least true in Mcmurrow's case. Mcmurrow got stuck in the viral form there.
Yes.
You say you had a viral rifle go wrong. Tell us more about that, Zach.
Yeah, so I think I talked about it last time, but essentially the old man of the mountain said he wanted something done with a Mcmurrow. And from what we know, a Laseek sniper had a special round that they fired into Mcmurrow. And Mcmurrow had a very strange reaction. He was taken off the battlefield by nomads into, I think, the Black Labs. I think the Black Labs were the ones that calmed him down and stabilized what the round did to him. And when he did stabilize in the Black Labs, he woke up as a sentient dog face. He was in control of his rage. His emotions didn't control him anymore, but he was still stuck in dog face form. Usually when they're forced into dog face, they lose most of the control of themselves and just go wild on the battlefield. But Mcmurrow was completely sentient and calm and stuck like that. And then during his rehabilitation in the Black Labs was when he was met by what we assume is a Templar who gave him his sword.
That's awesome. I love it.
What are the second irregular Cameronians? Are they?
I don't know. I don't know much about the Cameronians.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're like stuck in Mcmurrow's form essentially. It looks like.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
As far as I know, Mcmurrow's the only one that has control of his form and can't turn back.
Yeah, because you start to wonder about, like, even the U.S. Ariadna has the dog warrior that's more like wearing the uniform and seems more like he's human in dog. So yeah, interesting. I love Ariadna's backdrop, and it helped me, want to dive deeper into the lore of the game. It's very cool. It's very cool. And I guess for nowadays, because I play Brad so much with running Mcmurrow, I call him. I don't even think of him as Caledonian. I think of him more as like Deshot. But that's just one of the factions he hangs out in. Carmen gets around too.
He's a mercenary now.
Yeah, a lot of those mercenaries get around. Saito Togen, is he another mercenary that jumps around?
Yep, he's a mercenary. He's been a mercenary since before JSA split.
Yeah.
I like Dylan Shannon says, can George explain the 5-man link team from his game today? Yes, because I have the image that's going to help narrate that real quick. MoRats. This thing is super cool. Basically, it's I'm gonna pull up the. I got it right here in front of me. It is using the Sogarat. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Sogarat, NCO, and he's the big guy on the top right with the 2 lieutenant orders next to him. He's cool because you're bringing a Suryat. There's 3 of them in the list. They have those 3 irregulars next to him. One actually is the lieutenant creating 2 lieutenant orders and not having tactical awareness. But basically, you can use NCO orders on the link team as long as the NCO is the link leader at that time. And in a lot of today's game, it was me making sure that I nominated the correct link leader and didn't accidentally offer AROs on non-link team members. So if you were wondering about the intricacies of why I was throwing smoke in the ways I was being very careful to allow movement of the link team without them creating arrows for non-link team members, because I wanted the Sogarat with his Feuerbach +1 burst to be the active team member to get to go up against any Noctifiers that were going to jump out, or the Avatar. And then in that link, he is able to link with any Vanguards, Suryats, or Raichos as well. And so there is a MoRat Vanguard in there as a paramedic. And then there's Anyat, who is a character who can act as a counted as a fire team member as well. And so she is on the far left there, and she has a K1 rifle, EM grenades, and smoke grenades. And she was how I was throwing 2 grenades out. 2 smoke grenades out with a +3 from the link team, so getting +6 on the smoke throw, and getting to throw 2 at the same time was pretty powerful with her. And I really like the rack to rack unit. There's one in the Harris team and one in the core team, and they come with the Vulcan shotguns, which is a unique shotgun to the MoRats, I believe. Vulcan is amongst combined, but that Vulcan shotgun's pretty sweet on this particular unit. And he could be a part of any fire team of Vanguards and everything. So it's essentially a fire team of Vanguards that have all these other linkable guys, the Anyat, the Raktarak, and the Sogarat there. Datarazi in the middle throwing smoke. Their Datarazi Witch Shoulder, 14 points is excellent. Impetuous regular. And then the 3 Suryats, 1 being Lieutenant, all 3 having HMGs. That's just a ton of good, 3 HMGs plus a Feuerbach with 4 shots. It's just strong, heavy weapons going down the field with heavy armor. And then one of the neat things I noticed about the Suryats, speaking of N4, is the immunity to AP is pretty sweet. I don't mind that. That is,
on Armor 6 profile, it's not okay.
Yeah, it is helpful. Dylan says, my question was more about how you made the composition. I didn't know Sogarats. That apparently, and it changed from N3 to N4, Dylan. My buddy Will, game store owner here at Battlegrounds, this is his army here. And he was telling me how cool that was as well, because I guess apparently that Feuerbach piece used to only be a one-man show. And now that he can join a 5-man link, and get 4 shots on that thing with a +3 burst is nasty. So yeah, I would definitely think it's a huge boost to the MoRats there. I don't know if that Anyat lady could always join too, but I really like her. She's cheap and badass. But yep, huge fan of the MoRats. Definitely going to be running more of those. It was so easy and forgiving. You're like, okay, everybody's linkable. I lose somebody, they relink. We're really order efficient. We got a ton of them. It was cool. Yeah, highly recommend. I think they're good if you were, and plus they don't suffer loss of lieutenant or retreat, with their veterans and their courage. So I think I would say if you were getting new into Infinity, the MoRats could be a nice army. They're very straightforward. There's not a ton of options. I don't know. I think that they're easy to pick up on.
They do their job well. They move forward and kill. That is their job, and they do it well.
Yeah. It's the simpler the plan, the easier the execution. Maybe I like to think. At least when I'm getting into that was part of the as trying all these new factions out, I do like to make a simplified and unified plan amongst the army. And if you try too many things at once, you can overcomplicate yourself. And everything is its own little lesson, And it's funny it's been fun in N4. There's been a lot of new players in our meta, and it's been fun to watch from the perspective of getting to help new people into the hobby versus you guys always helping me. It's fun to see the different things that people get caught up on, or that they need to figure out, or those early pitfalls that folks will fall into. And it's been nice also to see some of the things that used to be hard from N3, like being able the app is fantastic. I really have been enjoying the app as far as data management, keeping control of who's alive, who's dead, how many points is what. It's very easy to track in the new app, and that's been sweet. And then the broken down profiles and being able to easily identify who has what without the nested rules, and on and on. Cover's easier. It's been cool. I was musing. This is so silly. You guys are like, duh. But I was musing over marksmanship versus MSV1 the other day, and just how marksmanship is superior over MSV1 because it is in effect more often than not. Comparatively to not everything has mimetism.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with how easy cover is now.
Yeah.
If you don't have cover now, you're probably not trying very hard, or your model can't get cover. So,
yeah,
marksmanship definitely.
I want a painting of a Maggie hiding behind a fire hydrant. I really need it.
That's good. Oh man, yeah. I'm going through all these exciting thoughts here, and my mind is in a blur here. I'm going to dig through our notes here of things we could talk about. I love all these things.
Yeah, continuing on the link team idea, I'm really enjoying the link teams now and how open they are. It feels like you're building a D&D party when you're putting a 5-man link team together.
I like that.
Just pick and choose all these little elements that do their own thing and are their own personality. That it's a lot of fun putting link teams together.
Yeah, the when I was trying to make a Rama list, it was funny because I had one of the actual original core team members and everybody else a wild card. You take the Janissary, and then it's Wild Bill, Yara Haddad, Rahini, Leela Sharif. They're all like, you know, a merry band of character wild cards joining together with the one Janissary. Good times.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to Yara Haddad model. I absolutely love her profile.
Is that new? Because I was excited about it.
She is brand new, actually. She's believed to be a triple agent between the Hakazam intelligence forces and the Assassin Baram and the Rama task force. No, she was originally tasked with infiltrating the Assassin Baram. And the intelligence service was like, you know, we're not even going to hide the fact. She's going to go in there to feed us intelligence, and y'all do with it what you will, but we need some kind of oversight on you that we want outside of the Asawara regiment. So they inducted her into Assassins with the knowledge that she'll be feeding information, but it's gotten to the point now that Assassins are not entirely sure if she's feeding the correct information, and the intelligence service is not entirely sure whether she's feeding the proper information. And no one's actually certain of where her loyalties lie, if they're with the Old Man of the Mountain or with the Mutafawik intelligence services.
That's hilarious. And you say, I'm looking now, there's concept art.
Concept art, yeah.
This
Yeah,
one?
she's got some concept
No,
art.
Up
the
there.
top left, yep.
Let me see if I can show this concept art. It's being all crazy.
Yeah, and a lot of the Hakazan community is also, funny enough, scholars of the Islam faith, and they're really enjoying the fact of the little touches of the Berber nationality in her with the tattoos on the face. Just a little cultural touch that most folks won't notice, but is there.
That's cool. Yeah, I love how it, you know, the like lore of our own like ancient militaries and stuff like that. Here's a brief look at this lady here. It's a little blurry, but yeah, I see the face tattoos. She looks cool. Yeah, I look forward to seeing that model too. There's quite a few. That's the another one in what is he? The McManus dude. Who am I thinking about right now? Drew's, I think I got him in. It is the Wolfgang Amadeus.
Amadeus, the Wolver, yeah.
That's another great profile new model floating around. Also the one that came, the special edition rocket launcher lady with the +1 burst that came with the M4 rulebook. It's another new Merc.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, she's
Octavia
all
Grimm's
the
daughter,
Delmar.
who I'm sure is a Shazvasti agent, but
Right.
there's lore on her. Like I'm like
Or
99% sure she's a Shazvasti agent.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Like a boat captain just found her walking along the ice, all lost, and they're like, "Well, I guess we'll just take her in. It's fine." Come across some combined army later, and it's like, "Okay, this is not coincidental at all. This is fine."
Yeah, definitely suspicious.
It's so super sus.
Yeah.
They need to vote her off the ship real quickly.
Yeah, that reminds me of some, I won't give away too much plot stuff, but Betrayal. If you haven't picked it up yet, I recommend it. It's beautiful manga style.
I need it
art.
in my life.
Yeah, there you go. See, and there's some parts in there where, yeah, you'll see when you read it.
Jelly, I want to get my hands on that.
Yeah. The model's cool too. I mean, I
Yeah.
haven't done it yet, but
the new
you know.
Kodali, yeah.
Yeah, Tanako. The Pano has a lot of darker stuff. Pano's got some really bad skeleton in the closet. They've got hallways of skeleton closets
I thought they were
that
good guys.
they're just ignoring.
No, they're not the good guys. There are no good guys in
No.
Infinity.
Hey, Rama is very much the good guys. And I'm not even joking there. If you read their background, they're completely devoted to humanitarian missions and slave rescue. and liberation. Like, that is their MO.
I mean, Deshot's good guys, I think.
The shot is not good, guys.
Come on.
Can't even make that with a straight face.
They got a
Yeah,
nice,
I mean,
nice
Yujing's
park.
not good. No, they're not good at all. But I guess there's some good people in Yujing. I mean, Adil may be chaotic neutral. It's really hard to tell. In Betrayal, you kind of get a picture into like what type of person he is. So he's a pragmatist, I guess. So I don't know if he really fits into Yujing
I mean, that's
overall.
not uncommon with the Yujing officer profiles. They're pragmatists more often than not.
Yeah, he's an ISS, and based on the novel, I don't really see him as being an ISS officer, but I don't know. They kind of allude to like, you're sort of here because, you've kind of earned some stuff. But,
Yeah.
We'll see.
And what is it, Varuna? We're totally not brainwashing a race of beings and forcing them to fight for us with drugs. Our
I
slave
thought you were
fish.
talking about Toha for a second.
Yeah, me too, but yeah.
So I'll just do that with entire races.
Actually, they just genetically modify people so that they will fight for them. So they basically just literally change them.
That sounds pretty
not even
humanitarian
drugs
to me. Yeah. Sounds like some nice people.
They're rescuing
Yeah.
Yeah.
unintelligent races to
They're
save
making
them.
them better.
Yeah, they're
There you go.
Yeah, well, I
they're
mean,
enlightening them.
Of
that's
course.
it. Lightning, that's the word.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Small lines being drawn, I guess. Everything's gray.
I like that.
I like enjoying knowing that the assassins truly are the good people that will rescue the human sphere from its own annihilation.
Yes.
They're gonna hand human sphere over to Combined. Just be like, here, pacify them.
Cracking up.
My,
Comments are
yeah,
cracking me up.
I'm gonna use this to interject into the Govads and why they're my favorite unit in Infinity.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, so the Govads actually have in their lore that they have saved the human race once. Unlike many other units in the game, they have actually saved the human race. And you can go into what their enemy was in the RPG, actually. The RPG actually has this as a popular enemy, but the Association of Equinox is a cyber... I don't know what you'd call them. Like they were building an AI that would take over Aleph and enslave the human race, and actually had the capability of doing that. And they were under funding by the Pan-Oceanian Megacorp, Magna Obra, but there was no direct ties to it, so assassins didn't have much they could do there. But the Govad regiment was mobilized, even unknown to the Old Man of the Mountain and much of the other assassins, but they fought an entire war in the shadows between the Equinox faction and themselves, to the point that the Govads were completely annihilated except for one individual, who then went on a mission hunting down Equinox cells and at the same time rebuilding the Govad regiment, fighting these Equinox cells across the human sphere and trying to annihilate this AI that was jumping between cells to survive. And because of their work, they were completely annihilated. They had to be rebuilt from veterans, trained quickly, and thrown into the fight, to the point there's not many of them left, but they did eventually succeed in quelling Equinox to the point where they can't release their AI that they've created.
That's pretty nuts.
Yeah. The AI got close to being released and would have annihilated, or rather enslaved, the human race, because apparently it was a complete antithesis to Aleph and had the capability of destroying Aleph. But thanks to the Govads, the human race was saved, only to be attacked by the Combined Army.
And now we have Aleph protecting us, right?
Oh, Aleph was existing at that time. It's believed that Atalanta may have worked with the Govads during that time, which, if you read into some of her lore, she's got black periods where Aleph has no idea what happened to her. And it's believed that that's what happened, was that she joined the Govads for a short period of time, helping hunt down Equinox. But even Aleph didn't know about Equinox and what they were doing.
Wow. Yeah. Well, respect to the Govads. Thank goodness for their heroism.
Now I want to play.
And and still no one takes on the tabletop because
I know.
because they're expensive for what they do.
Yeah, they didn't. I mean, I kind of wanted to see them change it a little bit with N4, but I mean, you can't.
Yeah, they didn't change much.
There's like nothing really different about them.
No,
I wish
there's
they made
really
wild cards or something like.
there's a lot more things that can link with them because of all the new wild cards, but
Well,
still hard fitting them in.
are wild cards. Were Muyi's wild cards before?
Yeah.
no, they were not.
Yeah. See, I feel like
that's why Govads are capable now, is because you can put the Muyibs in there. The Muyibs are what make them capable.
Yeah. The Govads, I guess, are the leadership, the more veteran troops.
Yeah,
although they don't have veteran.
Well, they're also the only linkable unit.
So they do have veteran. Never mind. Yep.
They're the only linkable unit in Haqqislam, all of Haqqislam, that does not have a doctor profile, which is why no one took them.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You can throw them in something.
Yeah, but now you can take a Muyib doctor and put them in the Govads.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, I was just pulling up that profile and taking a look at the different stuff that they offer.
Or that Muhib with tactical awareness.
Oh, cool.
So delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the X visor.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. Heavy rocket launcher, X visor, tactical awareness, and a link team.
Or a Spitfire.
I like these things.
Oh, Muyibs are great. Muyib's got a huge buff.
Yeah,
and
the BS-13, I was like, man.
BS-13, BTS-3, they
Bio,
used to be
with
BTS-0,
with
and
bioimmunity, yeah.
Yeah.
With bioimmunity,
And
yeah.
dogged, I mean.
Yeah, and they come with number 2 as well, which can be helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of number 2, for Yu Ching, the Shang and Zuyong Invincibles all have number 2 now, so you can have a core fire team with that. Makes it pretty nice because if you lose one, they're pretty efficient without having to reform them, so you can use command tokens for other things. But the Shang-Chi got a complete rework, and they're definitely now much more elite than the Zuyong. 6-2 move. They all have shock on their BS attack.
Nice.
They have core and Harris. They're shock immune with all heavy infantry. Number 2, they have total terrain. So
Oh, goodness.
they don't care about terrain. And their wild card. The Shang-Chi can be part of any fire team. And the cool part is
You got good.
the sweet one is the tactical awareness APHMG Shang-Chi with 10 bot firewall -6.
Ooh, yeah.
He's pretty well equipped with not caring as much about hackers, and they have BTS 6, so they're pretty well prepared to take on the info war game in a fire team.
That sounds excellent. Yeah.
Yeah, Dylan. Shang-Chi have needed models for a long time.
And there's no scheduled release through January for them, which is like, come on. I mean, although I don't really see you running a whole core team, I see you kind of adding in that really nice tactical awareness APHMG Shang-Chi just to some other fire team, because that's 49 points and 1.5 SWIC as it is, so it's already a pretty steep, expensive model. But the low cost of them goes down to 36 points. So,
Yeah, I definitely AP is something that makes me drool a little bit more than it used to.
Yeah, AP has become far better.
It is necessary.
Especially because it's like, I mean, some of the heavy infantry, I didn't realize. I thought one of those new players were making a mistake with Mobile Brigada, and it's like, oh, armor 5. And I'm like, man, what are you talking about?
yeah.
They were like armor 3.
Yeah, they're armor 4. They weren't
Okay.
terrible.
And it's
They
like,
did get a +1 armor.
I'm like, what the heck? Well, it's like, what is it? The Asawara got up to armor 4 now, right?
Yeah, Oscar's got armor 4 now.
Like, oh no.
And 6-2 movement.
Yeah.
That armor 5 is nice with that rounded up. Like when you do take AP, you don't feel like you're going down as much from 4 to 2 as you do from 5 to 3.
Yeah, but the Osawara also is Fizz 14 and regeneration, which is delicious.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
Put him down. I
Till
dare you. He's going to
yesterday.
get back up.
Yeah, regeneration can really be demoralizing if you don't take care of
Don't
the
put him
job.
unconscious.
Yeah.
Kill him.
Kill. Double tap all Asawaras.
For sure. I think that I've been coming across this, but this is random aside, but with the Protheon, where you gain wounds as for every armor save failed by your opponent, if they only have like one wound and then go unconscious, but you do an explosion attack there, like with D charges, and it does 3, they have 3 failed saves, do you gain all 3 even though they died on the first
No,
2?
you only gain as many wounds as they had. So if they have 1 wound and unconscious, you gain 2.
Okay, yeah. I was kidding. I was feeling like I was seeing people maybe misplay it online with oh, you failed 3, so I get 3, but you only get a max of 2 in one instance, anyways.
No, you get to the bottom of the Slurpee. There's no more Slurpee.
Yeah, and you don't kill them afterwards either, right? When you Protheon somebody, you literally can like feast on them and leave them there unconscious.
Yeah, I mean, if you only do 1 wound and they're unconscious, they're 1 wound and unconscious.
Cool.
It's not shock.
Yeah, they're yeah.
You just take a little bite.
Just take a little bite.
Little bite.
Ate their face,
Just a nibble. Just a little
yeah,
nibble.
They're more vampiric. Very cool, and I love it. Well, guys, we've reached the hour mark again for episode 3 out of many more to come. Is there any subjects we'd like to cover real quick before we get out? Anybody got any questions out there in the chat land? We do appreciate having some people join us tonight.
I do see Tanatsak with being USARF and N4 make me feel like a totally defensive team, right? USARF has always been defensive. That has not changed.
Yeah.
USARF has always been a brick wall that you beat against until you get through them.
And some of the changes, I have to pull them up real quick, but the infiltration change to grunts is actually pretty sweet now.
Yes.
Yeah, all the inferior infiltration profiles for
they're
all
now
armies got
infiltrators, so pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I think that definitely made them a good piece. They're 11 points, half SWIC with heavy flamethrower. I mean, they're going to be halfway up the board ready to flame people.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
a roadblock for objectives.
The USARF infiltration grunts and Daylami infiltrators have just gotten much more disgusting.
Oh, yeah. And Armor 3, I mean, they're going to almost guaranteed be in cover, so you're going to have to deal with Armor 6, heavy flamethrower, light shotgun guy.
Yeah.
And shotguns are templates now, if you want to.
Yeah, I think getting rid of inferior infiltration, making everything infiltrate, made them much deadlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't got to experience that very much. Neither has the channel gotten to get very many bat reps. So for any of the US Ariadna players, let's go. Get up in here. I know AJ might be out there floating around. He got some local US Ariadna. Seamus has a beautiful US Ariadna army.
He does.
Painted up as well. I'd love to see that in action. If we can get through this damn pandemic.
I don't have it painted, so I'll get around to that one day.
Yeah, I got a case of my buddy Brandon's models just sitting nearby with the whole US Ariadna force in it.
Yeah, I gotta paint them.
Gotta get that paint on there.
I've got all these wonderful new converted models that I will not have any playtime with for a very long time.
Yeah.
I hear the damn 2020 and damn COVID. Yeah, I'm itching for that competitive play, but at least we've been able to get it going on to a minimal degree and getting some bat reps up. It's been nice. And tomorrow, I think there's going to be a healthy amount of Infinity bat reps going up. There's Mondays and Thursdays at the shop when people that are able to gather do gather, and we've been having a good time. So you should see some bat reps tomorrow, everybody. There was a bat rep just today where you can see a few short turns of a Link team going up against an Avatar and hit him in the face. I use 4 grunts, infiltrate with 4 foxtrots. Makes my friend not talk to me for a whole month.
Hey, we got enough people. We can do a tournament tomorrow. I got a ton of ITS codes.
Let's get it together. It hurts.
Just tell your friend to bring more mind layers.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that does help. Mind layer, that's one of those new player things, right? You know, just seeing, it's like it's a lesson in itself to recognize that minds are a powerful tool, and then how good mind layer can be. Todd Freedom, thanks for the like. It's cool to have friends tuning in for the Infinity Show. This is episode 3. We did like 120 some 40K shows, so I'm glad to have people join into the conversation of Infinity, the greatest game on earth. But yeah, much love to everybody, and we'll see you here the week after next for another Sunday night Infinity talk show, and bat reps to come over the week. Keep taking fun seriously, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.
Take care, guys.